Good morning students, once again a very hearty welcome to the English world of Aradhya. Students, myself Rashmin sir, teaching English to the students of 9 to 12 standard of English medium. Now we were taking that poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and we are about to end that poem. Only few lines were left, so we just continue from there. Already you have got the idea through my previous videos what it is trying to say. It is just showing the misery of the slum children. Their classrooms first were described, then the children were described, then they were contrasted with the other life of the rich people, or you can say royal people, which is far away from their life. So in a way we can say that they are facing that misery all their life and their future is very much dark. Last time I had talked about a few children of the slums who are so thin, who are the victims of malnutrition, that their bones also can be counted through their skin, and they are having the spectacles which are broken, which are mended with some glue stick, some glue, okay, or fevistick, something like that. Now from there we will continue. All of their time and space are foggy slum. Okay, students, very appealing but making some sense this line. Okay, all their time and space are foggy slum. All their lifetime they spend in this slum area only. Earlier their parents were doing the same. They led their life, they were born in the slum, they grew up in the slum. Okay, then they got married also in the slum area. They had these children. Now their parents are, some of them have died, some are about to die, but their entire lifetime passed in the slum area. Similarly, these children's time or entire time and space where they can move, that is only slum. They cannot think of going to some other area. If they want to go to some other area and settle down over there, then they will require to purchase a house. And to purchase a house, how much money they require? Here they are not getting, they are struggling for 2 times meal. So they cannot think of purchasing a house in some good locality. So finally their fate also would be the same, which was the fate of their parents, that they would have to pass their entire lifetime, okay, in slum area only. So that's why those lines are true, bitter lines we can say. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. If we see their map with slums, so it is what? It is like a blot. Okay, if you see the map of the entire area, where one side you find very developed part, one side very undeveloped part, so that undeveloped part would be like a blot. blot यानी कलंक जैसा लगेगा ये मैप में कि इसको हटा दो बीच में से. Okay, earlier also I had told you when I started the poem that our PM Modi had seen this dream to make India slumless, and that's why he has come up with some schemes of providing houses to all the slum people. So here this map with slum is like a blot, okay, and it is as big as doom. Doom means, I told you, the buildings or the big palaces in their ruin condition, okay, that is खंडहर. तो ये ruins जितना बड़ा होता है उतनी बड़ी ये locality दिखती है, बराबर. So that's why it is a blot on the map. ये blot पे क्या है, झोपड़पट्टी आई है, इसको हटा दो. Okay, then the poet is giving us some suggestions over here. How can their situation, how can their condition be improved? Okay, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Unless means if not, if some governor does not pay any attention to their condition, if some inspector does not pay any attention to their condition, if any visitor does not do anything for them, then what will happen? Then this map becomes their window. This map only will remain like that only for them all the time. there won't be any change in their slum area. They will have to pass their entire lifetime over there. And these windows that shut upon their lives, and these windows are doing what? Just blocking their future. When they are living in the slum area, they hardly have any future. So that is, they are blocking their future. Their lives like catacombs. Catacombs means the small graves. So in small graves, the person is just buried. Similarly, these people are buried in their slum area. Understood? So they don't have any future over there, unless if some governor comes, or if some inspector comes, and if they try to do something, or if some minister, CM, like those people of great status, if they can do something for these people, then only they can come out of this condition. Otherwise, they'll always be there in this condition. That shut up, then break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields. Now here suggestion is given. What are we supposed to do? What are the people in power supposed to do? So they have to just break open till they break the town, till they come out of their slums. So the ministers or the government should come up with such any scheme, okay, which can just put the end to their slum and bring them to the better world, where they get proper education, and certain schemes the government can come up with. Okay, and show the children to green fields. So these children have not seen the open world. They have not seen the natural world. Their world is limited over there. So the poet is saying that they should be brought out and shown the green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands. So they should be given all the types of freedom. Freely they can hear gold sands, means on the river side, river banks you can say, or the seashore you can say, run azure, yani they can also enjoy this open scenery, they can also enjoy their freedom, they can also enjoy all the benefits that the rich people are enjoying. Okay, and let their tongues run naked into the books. It means they should also be given the full freedom for education. They should also be given freedom. Run naked into the books means freedom to study. So they should also be given the freedom to study. So after studying, they get some degrees or something, and through that they can reach some high post. Okay. The white and green leaves open, history theirs, whose language is the sun. Okay. So students, here again that line is telling the same thing. They should be given the freedom for studying, for education. They should be provided better education. They should be led to the white and green leaves, means the natural world. They should enjoy the nature. And final line says, history theirs, whose language is the sun. Those people have made the history who have got all the freedom to study, to observe, to enjoy life. Like those people have only made the history. So once they get all these facilities, once they come out of their slum area, they will also be able to do something, and then only they will be able to make history. If not for the country, at least for their family. In their family, they would appear different. Up till now, all their family members were living in the slum and doing like those odd jobs. But now they have come out of that and they have got some degree, so they are in a better position. That has become a history for their family. Understood? So here, students, that thing is mentioned over here. If they are not brought out of this slum situation, their future is very dark. They should be brought out, then only they will have freedom, and through that freedom they will be able to make history. So students, here we end the poem. Now we will see the figures of speech. So in figure of speech, students, first line if we take, far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Looking at the line only, you can easily make out that it is repetition, because in the very beginning the word far is repeated twice. Okay. Then gusty waves, I had told you, gusty waves represent the civilized world, the powerful, energetic world. okay, where the children over there are powerful, people are powerful, they are having some energy like the energy of the waves. So gusty waves represent you this civilized world. So we can say that is metonymy. Then these children's faces again the body parts of the children is mentioned over here. So it is synecdoche. Then students, we also have the another figure of speech, that is alliteration. Far from and faces, F sound is repeated through these words, so it is alliteration. Okay, and now we move on to the second line, students. Like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. So in the beginning only the word like is used, like rootless weeds. So something is compared with the rootless weeds, and what is compared? The hair from the torn round their pallor. The hair is like what? Rootless weeds. So that is simile, because hair is compared with the rootless weeds. Weeds, I told you, the unnecessary grass in the field. Rootless means it is plucked out. So their hair is also like that. Torn round their pallor. Pallor means pale face. Okay. Then students, we move on to the next line. The tall girl with weighed down head. If we take that line, the tall girl with her head down, weighed down head. Head is what? Again a body part, so synecdoche. And here weighed down. Weighed down is an adjective which is talking about the girl, not about her head. So this adjective is transferred somewhere else. So it is transferred epithet. Okay, weighed down means sad. So girl is sad, her head is not sad. Understood? That's why it is transferred epithet. Okay, and it is synecdoche also, because head body part is used over there. The paper swimming boy with rat's eyes. Okay, so here again the boys are compared with the paper. So paper swimming boy, yani that much duble patle, that much thin boy. Okay, so boy's body is compared with the paper, but it is directly compared, so it is metaphor. Okay, and with rat's eyes, students, again his eyes are compared with the rat's eyes, so that is also metaphor. Again it is too much to say, students, it is too much to say. किसी भी बच्चे को तुम पेपर के साथ कंपेयर करो कि पेपर जितना पतला है, तो ये बहुत हो गया, पेपर तो कितना पतला होता है, कोई भी बच्चा इतना पतला नहीं होगा, बराबर. तो इसलिए दैट इज हाइपरबोल ऑल्सो. ओके, एंड लेट मी सी इफ अनदर figure of speech can we find. Okay, the paper swimming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky heir of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease. Now we talk about the another boy who is stunted, yani deformed, okay, disfigured, unlucky hair of twisted bones. So he has some physical deformity. Here again it is mentioned that twisted bones, he has got twisted bones, and that is the bone disease which he inherited from his father. So all those things mean the same, all those words mean the same. So the figure of speech over there is tautology. Tautology, if you have forgotten, let me remind you. Tautology, two or more than two words with the same meaning are used in a sentence. If you take out all the remaining words and keep only one word, then also meaning is the same. He was very weak and feeble. So weak also means feeble, feeble means weak. If you take out one word, feeble, and if you keep only weak, then also meaning is the same. If you keep two, then also meaning is the same. So similarly, here the words stunted, okay, twisted bones and gnarled disease mean the same thing. Okay, that's why it is what? Tautology. Then reciting his lesson from his desk. So his lesson from his desk. Again you see word his is repeated over there, so we can say it is repetition. Now we move on to the next line. At back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet and young. At back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet and young. So students, here you see that is describing one particular boy. All these words are used for one particular boy. So it is metonymy. Okay. The metonymy figure of speech you will find in that line. Then his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room. Other than this, that particular line you see, then eyes, body part, his eyes only not live in a dream, he lives in a dream. So that's why here students, eyes, synecdoche, body part, okay, and eyes are given the quality of living. So that is personification as well, students. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room. Here tree room means the hollow of the tree, the dwelling place of the squirrel. So that is what talking to you about metonymy. The tree room suggests that dwelling place of the squirrel or the hollow of the tree. Other than this, okay, then those words suggest that it is alliteration. The sound is repeated through those words. Then and this. Okay, then we move on to the next line. On sour cream walls. Okay, so students, here sour cream means very pale, yellowish walls. So here this walls of the classrooms are compared with the sour cream. So that's why it is metaphor. Okay, donations Shakespeare's head. If you take only that much, then Shakespeare's head. So again, that is body part. Shakespeare's head also suggests that it is the photograph of the Shakespeare's head. Understood? So it is synecdoche and it is metonymy as well. Okay. Cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. So civilized and cities, those two words present the sound S. So that's why it is alliteration. Students, the figure of speech over there is alliteration. And cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all the cities. So here this particular line, civilized dome, riding all the cities, that shows us one civilized world. So that is again metonymy. All those words represent a civilized world. So the figure of speech over there is metonymy. Now we move on to the next line, that is metonymy also and alliteration also. Okay, civilized and cities, those two words represent C sound. Belled flowery Tyrolese valley. If you take only that much, so that is describing a particular valley in Austria. So belled flowery Tyrolese valley, flowery valley. The ending sound of these two words is same. So it is internal rhyme. Flowery valley, EE sound is there. Okay, open-handed map awarding the world its world. So students, again you see over here the two words. World is repeated twice. Okay, awarding the world its world. So it is repetition. Okay, open-handed map awarding the world its world. It is also again metonymy. Open-handed world means the world map of the world. World map you can say. And students, okay, then we move on to the next line. And yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world. So again in this line, word these, THESE, is repeated twice. So you can say it is repetition. Okay, then these windows, not this world map, their world. So the sound is repeated through the words these, this and there. So that is, it is alliteration. Okay, and again students, the word not is there. Now if you remember, whenever any negative statement is made or the sentence contains the negative word like no, not, never, none, nowhere, then it is litotes, okay, or litotes. So that line also has the figure of speech litotes. Okay, where all their future is painted with a fog. So here again a fog stands for their no future, their darkness. Okay, अंधेरा ही है उनके लिए. And the future is given the quality of being painted. So it is personification. It is also hyperbole. ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही बोल दिया, शायद कोई बच्चा तो कहीं पहुंच पाएगा, सभी बच्चे वहीं ऐसी हालत में रहेंगे ऐसा नहीं. सो दैट इज स्टूडेंट्स hyperbole also, where all their future is painted with a fog. A fog means the smoke, so that you can say it is metaphor. Okay, so students